Hello, hello, hello. Apa khabar all FPL managers? We are back. We are back for another deadline day, okay, which is game week 23, game week 23. My name is Hafiz and with me Azmin. How's your feeling ahead of another small double game week?
Yeah, ready, good to go. Remember, midweek I was commenting about how this is the shortest game week, will end really fast, and of course they just decided to add another match, which will be like what 12 days later or something like that. Yeah, so it's gonna be a really long game week.
Hello
We just
everyone who joining us today. Okay, Brian, hello. Is it me you're looking for? Maybe. Yep, I think so. Rakan FPL, thanks for everyone who's joining tonight. Okay, I think kita akan tengok what are the matches for tonight. Okay, especially
yeah,
and definitely we are okay. Quickly we show. I mean, I got
yeah.
here, which is our double game week 23, which is Watford and Burnley will have two matches. Definitely, they will have two matches for this week. Kita predict Aston Villa or Leeds. Turn out is actually Watford and Burnley. All right. So I'm not sure how's our feeling, but definitely
Yeah.
we need to prepare ourselves and try to figure out what's the best transfer ahead of this double game week 23. All right. So what's your first reaction? Watford and Burnley dapat dua matches. Is
It's
it good?
very I wouldn't say boring, but very underwhelming. Because we're looking at Watford
Okay.
and Burnley, and these two teams have not much in the past few weeks. They've been really stagnant, and they both teams at the same both teams are also in the relegation battle, so it's not really attractive in terms of fantasy wise. Yeah, so I
Okay.
won't be tearing up my team to bring in any assets. But
Alright.
I'm approaching this week like last week, as in this is more of a single game week rather than a double game week, because we
Yep.
saw what
Yep.
happened last
Yep.
week, and I expect that to happen this week as well.
Okay. We still need to vigilant whether Burnley can still play. Later we share. I think they should be ready and they should be able
Uh,
to play these two matches. All right.
yeah, yeah.
So
Just a shout out, hello to some people more: Shape, Sanki, and Haresh. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
yep.
Let's get it, Abid.
Welcome. All right. So just to let everyone know, again, Watford has Norwich at home, which is a good match on paper, definitely, and away to Burnley, which is struggling. So that's why we feel that Watford is the asset to target instead of Burnley, who has away to Arsenal, which is tough, definitely, and home to Watford. That is a crucial one for both of the team. So my initial thought is definitely Watford asset that you need to think of first instead of Burnley. So whoever still have Watford asset, especially who has double striker up front Watford like Dennis and King, you're definitely happy with this outcome. All right. So let's go to what is actually game week 20 fixture. Okay. We will start off tonight, man, 4 a.m. Watford versus Norwich.
Yeah,
This is the one that we've been targeting, okay, since we have double game week. And then tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m., we have Everton versus Villa. Then at 11, we have three matches: Brantford versus Wolves, Leeds versus Newcastle, and Manchester United versus West Ham. We will have Man City versus Southampton at 1:30 a.m. And then on Sunday itself at 10 p.m. we have three matches: Arsenal versus Burnley, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool, and Leicester versus Brighton. We will end up the first half of game week 23 with Chelsea versus Spurs, and then it will be a long journey back to the last match of game week 23, which is at 6 February. Yeah, it's not really close
yeah,
gap, so we need to be aware of that. Burnley versus Watford has been add up, so Premier League FPL has decided to add in this match into Game Week 23 instead of inside Game Week
Yeah.
24. All right.
Yep.
Okay, man. I think let's jump straight into team news. Okay, first we start definitely on Watford versus Norwich. What's the
All
latest
right.
news?
Okay. So obviously now with the announcement of Watford being one of the two teams doing a double game week, so the good thing with Watford is that they don't have any new injuries. Of course, Sar is still out. Where the key fantasy assets are concerned, Ismaili Sar is still out, and of course, as you can see there, Luza, Masina, Ekong are all still at the FCon. Not that it makes much of a difference for us, FPL wise. Other than that, your key players, King, Dennis, maybe
Joe
Sissoko, if
Pedro.
you're interested, and uh, Ben Foster, which is the best
Okay.
news for me
Yep.
anyway. As a cheap and makes it available for this double game week. Uh, and Hafiz, you also mentioned Pedro and maybe even Cuco Fernandez if you wanted to try for a differential. Yeah, so those people are available. On the Norwich side, unfortunately, they've been delivered a quite important blow, which is Tim Krul. He is confirmed to be injured, and they're not sure yet, but it's something to do with his shoulder. So he's out, and other players like Gilmore, Norman should all be Norman and Omar Bamidele, who was your cheap pick once upon a time, so he should be back soon. But in terms of possible players, Timu Puki, of course, is fit. Ida, who starred last week against Everton, so he should be fit as well. So the main current defense people, Aaron's, Hanley, Gibson, Williams, who played previously, are all back, except that now that Gunn will be playing in between the sticks instead of Tim
Yep.
Krul.
So definitely this is a good news for Watford asset. Since Crew will be out, what do you think, man?
Yeah, so it's okay. So the good thing is, because the thing is, Norwich have found some vibe, have found a bit of verb, and I'm sure that Everton win would have given them a boost. And in
Yep.
contrast, Watford has been quite underwhelming recently. They haven't, remember we talked about the Dennis King, about how everyone's excited. In the end, they haven't really done much. So this is a relegation battle, no doubt about it. So I'm
No
not
doubt.
sure how it will go. I expect both teams to be a bit more defensive, because
Ooh.
Watford used to be more attacking, but we haven't seen that lately. So I wouldn't be surprised if a 1-1 draw. I'd probably call it a 1-1 draw, probably.
Okay, all right. So, especially on Watford side, almost whoever playing last week against Newcastle should be available. Okay, I think that's good news for whoever having the likes of Dennis and King. And for Norwich, it's a big blow for Team Crew who's missing. I expect, I don't know about Gun, okay, but I expect it's more favorable to Watford in terms of attacking players. So Sa is not ready yet, okay, so that we cannot put him into our thinking yet. But the rest, especially Dennis and King, is the one to call and to be considered if we want as one of our captain for this week. Okay, all right, man. I think let's go to the next match, which is Everton versus Villa. We already know
Yeah.
Everton has sacked Benitez, okay, Rafa Benitez, and now Duncan Ferguson is the new interim manager for Everton against a good Villa side, which will be led by their manager that has relation with Liverpool. This will definitely an exciting match. What's the latest team news?
Yeah. So the biggest thing with Everton, obviously after losing Rafa Benitez, so Duncan Ferguson has stepped in, and previously when he was in as a caretaker, they had a reasonably decent outing with Duncan Ferguson. And the big difference is that with Duncan Ferguson previously, um, Calvert Lewin and Richarlison started up front in a 4-4-2 formation. So it'll be quite interesting to see what they do. And it does make me wonder whether, was it really just Rafa Benitez not getting the best out of his team, or is there something wrong with the team itself? Because we've pretty much got they pretty much got everyone fit now. So we'll see. The key
Yep.
players are all fit. Mina is
Yes.
back. So the another main difference is that the new guy Mykolenko will be starting at left back instead of
Okay.
Godfrey. Yeah, and let's face it, Godfrey has been pretty bad. Stepping in for Digne since Digne stopped playing. So it's an unknown quantity. Mykolenko. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing we know is that he previously he previously played. I don't know. It's a January signing, so we'll see how it go. But I'm not quite confident with the Everton will be able to immediately spark some form, because on the other side, Aston Villa side, as from the team news, yeah, as we consult, is pretty much the only person who's been uh, not fit. So this creates quite an interesting situation for Aston Villa, because most of their key players are now fit except for Bailey. With I suspect Coutinho won't be ready to start yet. I think they still need to work on his fitness, so he'll probably still come off the bench. Having said that, we saw him come off the bench previously and still make an impact, so it's okay. If other key assets like Jacob Ramsey, he's fine. Yeah, bring him in. I think a lot of people are looking at Digne as well, and
Yep.
Digne will be excited to, will be having a point to prove to play
Yep.
against its old club. Considering how he left in such circumstances, and I think Digne was loved by the Everton fans, but I think that it's over. It's over, yeah, and I think he'll have a point to prove.
Min, there's no nothing mentioned by Gerard whether Coutinho will start or
Sorry.
not or something like that.
Uh,
Nothing, yeah. Okay.
no, I mean he keeps saying that he's not quite fit, so I wouldn't be surprised if he still continues on the bench. Yeah, easing him
Okay.
in. Yeah.
So we need to be careful lah bringing in Coutinho, but we know that uh last week, like you mentioned, Coutinho can actually deliver even from the bench. So I think that is something that we need to aware. So
Yep.
hopefully he can keep moving forward in terms of their fitness. If let's say he can at least start or finish playing like 60 minutes or coming in uh later better in within 30 minutes and so on to get his playing going on lah, right? So sekarang ni I think on paper people says that Villa gonna win against Everton, but I'm not too sure because reaction from new manager or interim manager coming in. So what do you think, man?
Uh, okay, caretaker manager versus on a roll manager. Call it bias if you want, but I'm confident Steven Gerrard is getting the best out of his squad, and that mentality, that mentality that he's instilling in the squad is quite evident. We saw last week, the last game week against Manchester United, they fought back um, to
Okay.
score 2 goals and secure a draw. Obviously, Manchester United defensive issues aside, but it shows that Aston Villa aren't gonna back off anymore. They have a stronger mentality with a stronger team, and I'm not sure where Everton are in terms of their mentality. So I'm looking at Aston Villa 3-1 win, 1-3 win. Yeah, that's my call.
Okay. All right. You're more optimistic than me. Okay, good. But if let's say people has like DCL and Gray and they have no option to, I think they just roll the dice and play them. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I think the best thing about if you have these assets, in fact, I actually have DCL, but because they are playing at home, so they will have the home factor to consider.
Yep. Yep. Okay, man. Let's go to the next match, which is Brantford versus Wolves. We know Brentford last game lost to Manchester United, but they actually play quite good against Man U. And Wolves is actually on really good form after another win last week. So what's the latest team news for both of the
Yeah.
team?
Yep. So again, Brantford, as you say, there's no real changes. So pretty much everyone who was previously there, and your assets like Mbuemo, Tony are still there. So it's again David Raya is the key absence for Brentford. And I don't know if you caught Frank's interview post match defeat to Manchester United, but it was
Okay.
really it felt really sad because he was going on about we did so well, we really
Oh,
killed them, but in the end we lost.
yep.
But
Yep.
but
Yes.
but the reality is that obviously Manchester United had their problems, but Brentford's problems are worse. They can fight well, but once some quality sets in from the other side, Brentford will lose, and I expect this same thing to happen again here. So Wolves are also in a good form. They have they I don't have the exact stats, but they've kept 6 out of the last 8 clean sheets, which is quite incredible and frustrating when I don't have any Wolves assets myself.
Yep.
Although I think we both looked at Wolves as possible options, but a combination of teams with double game weeks and other more favorable matchups, and as a result, picking up Wolves just didn't seem to be on the agenda. But in terms of team news, yeah, as nothing outside what's mentioned, which is Otto and Neto, but Ruben Neves is back, so he should come back into the starting lineup. It's interesting with Traore. Now that he scored, will he continue to start? And I think Adama Traore will start. So in terms of key assets, Jimenez of course will continue. Traore will also play as well. So it'll be interesting to see if we can continue. Having said that, obviously picking up unless you're on a free hit or wild card, and it's not on the agenda simply because of the double game week involving Watford.
Yes. Just to highlight, main, whether managers realize or not, that Brentford actually the keeper played last week is actually Jonas Losel. The Fernandez, I think, on the bench, so he lost his place. So just to highlight that
Ah,
there is a changes in goalkeeping department.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I think they decided to give another goalkeeper a run, see what he can do, and not that I'll
Yep.
be picking him. But yeah,
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next match, which is Leeds versus Newcastle. I know a lot of managers are looking at Leeds as set to bring in, especially Rafinha, who has risen in price by point 0.1, yeah, 6.5 to 6.6. Looks like people are getting him in. So, what's the latest news for both Cam?
yeah. For Leeds, of course, the problem again, Bamford continues to be out and really frustrating. So this is where James, for people who fancy an out of position pick, Daniel James should continue up front, although he hasn't exactly been spectacular. Of course, the return to form of Harrison will definitely interest a few parties.
Yeah.
Leeds are playing against Newcastle, and obviously they'll want to continue the good form. Harrison was quite a performer in the past season, and with him returning to form, I think it'll look good for Leeds if they can only get Bamford. Unfortunately, people like Calvin Phillips, key players, are still out, so that's the problem. And
Bamford is still out, yeah? Oh, okay.
Bamford
Not
is
good
still out.
news.
Yeah, so
Yep.
Philippe Lorente is back though, so Lorente back should be good for Leeds United. On the Newcastle side, um, Callum Wilson is still out, so we expect Chris Wood
Yep.
and ASM to continue leading the line. Other than that, it's pretty much the same players. Not sure how Newcastle's reinforcements are coming along. I don't think it looks good for Newcastle. They'll still need a lot more.
Okay,
I
on paper
think
we expect Leeds to win, but surely Newcastle need to fight and get points. What do you think? Will Newcastle give a run for Leeds?
I don't think so. I think they still need some key reinforcements in midfield and in defense. I think Dubravka's doing a decent work as a keeper, but but that defense really, obviously they have Trippier, but he's probably better in terms of the attack. But they still need, they need another center back and a left back, because they got Paul Dermot at left back, which is just really bad. And with that, with people like Paul Dermot at left back, Rafinha will definitely get a run, could get a good run against him, and which could lead to goals. So I expect Leeds to win this one, and they could even keep a clean sheet. 3-0. There you go. 3-0 to
Whew.
Leeds.
Right, Newcastle looks doomed with that result. Leeds versus Newcastle. I think if let's say people are interested to bring in, or they still hold on to Rafinha, it's definitely a good option for this week. All right, let's go to the next match, which is Manchester United versus West Ham. I expect a good game. Both are a good team. Manchester did win last game. West Ham did lose game with Leeds United. So what's the latest news for both teams?
All right. So apparently Lindelof had his house broken into. Sadly,
Oh,
it actually doesn't say here, but yeah, and that's why they decided, he
no
won't be
wonder, no
playing.
wonder this
Uh,
statement by Redknapp. Yeah, okay.
yeah. So I guess we can see Phil Jones stepping into the breach to replace, to partner, what's his name, Varane. Yeah. So will that solidify Manchester United's defense? I'm not so sure,
Hmm.
because yeah, they still have problems, and I think McTominay is
Yep,
out.
he should
I'm
be
gonna
back.
check.
Yep, he should be back, right?
Hang on.
Tomine and Fred will be.
Oh yeah. McTominay is out. McTominay should be back. Yeah.
Yep.
So the interesting dynamics is that, if you remember, Elanga played.
Yes.
So
And he
not
did
sure
score.
how. Yeah. So it's interesting, and it's a bit hard to gauge, what's going on. I think probably Cristiano Ronaldo to continue to start. But we saw how Fernandez performs much better without Ronaldo. So it's but you wouldn't sell him. West Ham, however, with Susek should be back from a COVID
Okay.
issue, but as mentioned by Moyes, he's not quite clear whether or not he'll be fit. It looks like Zuma is not ready yet either, so that's not good for West Ham. So I don't see a clean sheet here either. Having said that, Bowen is in good form, and I think
Yep.
he can exploit that left. I think Alex Telles should start at left back, and Dalot at right
Right
back.
back. Okay.
So but I think that Bowen can really give them a run here.
Okay.
So it should be a good match.
So as you all know, Cristiano Ronaldo has been subbed out last game on the 71st minute, something like that. Should we worry about his minute? He should be starting, right?
Well, yeah, I think he will still start, and I think the journalists are making so much out of it, because of uh, the unwritten rule: you don't sub Cristiano Ronaldo off, because he's always capable of doing something. But Rangnick has to be realistic. The guy is 36 years old, pushing to 37. He's not going to be producing, and let's face it. Uh, so far this season, he has not been
Mhm.
what we had expected him to be. Let's be real. Let's look at the facts. He hasn't been that outstanding goal scorer that people were expecting him to be, and for his price, he's just not good enough. There are better players that you can pick.
Yep.
Just
So
to
to
highlight on the Manchester United side. So in terms of the team news, Sancho, Cavani is still out as well. Yeah, but other than that, they should be fine. On the West Ham side, I think everyone is fit except again for Ogbonna and possibly Zuma as well. Ben Rama, as you know, is still at the
AFCON.
Afcon. Yeah.
Stay at AFCON. I think Algeria kicked out from AFCON, right? I
Yes,
think so. Yep. He should be back lah, but maybe not
he
for
should
this
be
game.
back, but he probably won't be ready to play yet. And,
Yep.
yeah, I think he'll give it some
Only
time.
after the international break and coming back in game week
Yep,
24, I suppose. Yeah. So
that's right.
just to mention to managers who has Bruno as in their team, Congrats to you all. Been picking him last week. He got a monstrous point, and I feel you should continue to keep him for this game. That's what I think of. Right? Okay.
Yep. Move on.
Let's go to the next game, man, which is
Yep.
Man City. Southampton versus Man City. There's a lot of interest with Man City assets. I believe most of us also in the same boat. Okay, what's the latest news for both teams?
Okay, so for Southampton, everyone's favorite bench player, Livramento, is still out, but everyone else is fine.
Ah,
Uh, and Manchester City side, Mahrez, although apparently he's back, just like Ben Rama, he should be back, but then he's been for on Ben on Mahrez's side, they've confirmed that he's actually been given a week's holiday to rest. So that's fine. That's good. Which means it'll be a while before he plays again, considering it's also the summer break. Um, Alexander Zinchenko is out. Even though Ake is fit, but I don't see him displacing. It'll probably be either. It'll probably be Diaz might come back into the lineup.
yep, he should
I
be.
do. Yeah, I do think that Diaz and Laporte should be back as the first choice centre back
The
pairing.
partnership lah.
Yeah, I thought the John Stones thing was just for that a matchup thing. But it does mean that it's a problem figure out who's going to start from the Manchester City side. Of KDB is probably most likely to start, and he is a man in form.
Yep.
So if you have the money, then I would bank on him to start. Obviously, a lot of people still have Cancelo. No problem starting him as well.
Yep.
Other than that, the risk is there, But they picking Foden, Cancelo, Grealish, anyone can perform, anyone can end up being benched. So it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, I still expect the same lineup or almost the same lineup. Man City against Chelsea last week. I
You do?
expect the same up front three: Sterling, Foden, Grealish, and then KDB, Rodri, and Silva in midfield. That's what I expect. But Pep.
So basically,
Uh,
you're saying that's first choice starting 11, right? And the good thing is that because after this is a break, so they don't have to worry about keeping players fresh for
yes,
something else.
yes.
So they
And
will.
and and, and Pep did confirm that Riyad Mahrez won't be considered for selection. So that is another safe point in terms of, let's say, whether you worry Sterling or anyone up front to be missing because Mahrez is not around. So I feel it's more secure this week lah if you want to bring. But I'm not sure which coming up from 24 onwards. But at least if you're considering like most of people to captain any Man City asset they bring in or they already have, this is a good thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless then this double game week come in. So I'm not too sure now whether you still want to keep captaining the single game week or for players that playing two games.
That's a problem, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to next game. Arsenal versus Burnley. We already know Arsenal and Liverpool did play Carabao Cup semi-final few days back. Okay. So that's something just to highlight with everyone. Okay. And Burnley has been missing a lot of games. So what's the latest news for both teams?
Okay, so apparently Aubameyang is no longer with his national team because apparently there's some post-COVID issues, but it doesn't matter. It's not like it's not like Arsenal are going to pick him anyway yet. El Neni and Pepe, of course, are still with Cameroon at the AFCON. But the key news is, of course, Granit Xhaka getting himself sent off. Yeah, two match bans
Okay.
this is. So okay, this was before this is his second suspension, and but I think it's good news for Arsenal him not playing. So I don't think it's a problem. Other than that, Thomas Partey, they've lost Thomas Partey though, so he's suspended. So that's a problem for them.
Okay.
But I think again against Burnley, it shouldn't be an issue. On the
Yep.
Burnley side, you know how there were a lot of concerns, COVID issues, injury concerns, but but died based on the tweet. He says that he's got 16 out, so they should be ready. So the chances of postponements are almost non-existent at the moment. Having said that, Arsenal should win quite significantly against Burnley. So if you
Yeah,
have any Arsenal,
I expect big win for Arsenal. So whoever have like I don't know Martinelli, Saka, or
yeah,
should be having a good week.
yeah. Originally, I didn't. I because Saka was an injury doubt before the FA Cup semi-final, and once that came out, Saka did was fit. So yeah, expect goals. Maybe 4-0
Yep,
to Arsenal.
yep, yep. So let's see whether Burnley can.
When
Let's Okay, let's go to the next game, which is your team in Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. Liverpool did win 2-0 against Arsenal on semi-final. Liverpool will play Chelsea in Carabao Cup final. So, what's latest news for Crystal Palace and Liverpool? Any specific injury?
for Crystal Palace, the main thing is that he Jordan Ayew is back. And
Okay,
unlike the other team players mentioned, like Mahrez Ben Rama, he might actually end up playing. So which is fine for Palace. Liverpool, I believe here they were talking about Alex Ox Chamberlain. This tweet.
yes, yep,
So yeah, he did play in the EFL. No, he didn't. He didn't play in the second leg of the EFL Cup semi-final. Um, and Matip didn't play as well. So if Matip's not quite fit, then Konate will come in.
okay,
Fabio had a knock during against by Pate in that semi-final, but he should be okay as well. So again, of course, where it might be a fringe player show again, but of course, those with Jota will hope it will continue. This match is not as easy as straightforward as it looks.
okay,
I underestimated Crystal Palace before, and they did do well. So this could be a tough one, and I'm not sure Crystal
okay.
Palace have a chance at stealing a point here, at least a point, because Crystal Palace's attack is even without Zaha, they seem to be quite solid.
Yep, I agree, but I still expect a Liverpool win. Uh, like Jota owner, ada Jota owner like me. Uh, Sadly, Jota scored brace in Carabao Cup semi-final, not in the Premier League game.
Yeah,
So
it's
I hope he can do the damage this week.
yeah. I have Firmino as well as a differential. So
Okay, man. Let's go to the next match, which is Leicester versus Brighton. Leicester did lost to Spurs. Uh, Crucially, in the last minutes when Spurs got two goals in the space of 1 or 2 minutes, and then Brighton did hold Chelsea 1-0, okay, 1-1, and then they had a good performance. So, what's latest news for both Cam? Min, you're on mute.
sorry. So the quote by Brandon Rogers saying it's a clean bill of health. It basically means there's no new injuries except so it's not like everyone's back because in terms of injuries, Vardy is still out for 2 months. Bertrand is out. Pereira is out. Evans is out. Whereas of course they've also got Nacho, Mendy, Amati, and Ndidi all at AFCON as well. But Justin James coming back will be a great interest for fantasy
Hmm.
players because we know how he can, he has some fantasy potential when he plays. So he could actually play this weekend. So whether or not he will, I'm not sure. It's
Is
a
he
bit hard
fit?
to figure out the lineup. Yeah. I think he will. He has a good chance of starting at the most. It's already mentioned. Randy Rogers says he's available, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does start.
Okay, all right. So that
Okay,
Leicester
so on the
versus Brighton.
yeah, so on the Brighton side, For me, the biggest news is Dunk, if he might be available, and that will really help Brighton in terms of clean sheets. And it's been the Brighton had a double week, a disappointing double week last week, and yeah, maybe I overestimated Brighton's ability, but yeah, without Duffy, Dunk and Lalana, I guess maybe it was a bit of a uh, gamble to go for Brighton players last week. Of course, it looks like Potter won't be in the dugout, so but it
Okay.
shouldn't impact that. Yeah.
Okay, he's been hit by COVID. Okay, so then I feel Brighton still good enough to fight against Leicester. I'm not sure
Yeah.
whether if let's say people still have Trossard from double game week last week, maybe you could hold another week because Leicester is not so-called team that has
I
been
don't
keeping
know.
clean sheet. So
Yeah.
I feel it's not a bad choice if let's say you have it and just play him. On the
But
other side, if let's say
Mount,
you have, yeah,
yeah. Go on.
on the other side, if you have Madison, you definitely play him. He scored 8 points last week, even though he played in single week, so he's on form. So
Yeah,
that's my thought, man.
the thing with Madison has been in good form, and I think for those who had transferred him before they found out the first match was off, they continued with him. He ended up scoring in the second match anyway. So so don't knock a player in form. If he's in form, if you have him, go for it.
Okay, all right. Let's go to the last match, supposedly on GW23. Okay, which is
Uh,
Chelsea versus Spurs. We don't have any news yet from Spurs, okay, but we have from Chelsea. Okay, so Ben, can you mention on that?
Yeah, so Chelsea, I think we talked how James might be back, but he's still not going to be ready yet. Other than that, Chelsea seems to have different problems than injuries at the moment, trying to figure out how to work the squad. Obviously, Chilwell is out and Mendy is at AFCON. Yeah, but everyone else who could play is there. In terms of the Spurs side, from what we know, there's I don't think there's many injuries apart from Son. Um, Romero though, yeah, sorry, yeah. So Romero is the other person, which is he still has a hamstring injury, and Eric Dier is also out as well. So that in normal situations you would think that that will be good for Chelsea because Spurs have some defensive issues, but at the moment Chelsea themselves are struggling. So I'm not keen on Chelsea either.
Fair. So if you can see, Spurs did win last game, and Kane is back on form. He scored a goal and assist. Yeah. So I expect a good match against Chelsea versus Spurs. I will not be surprised if let's say this game end up like a draw or maybe Spurs win if Chelsea are not careful. So other than that, there's rumors that maybe Lukaku won't start this game, but I'm not sure whether Havertz will start. So we'll see how it goes, man. I still expect Mount to
Yeah,
play, even though yeah. Go on, man.
So the main problem here is that for Spurs is that in the EFL Cup they lost both legs. They lost 2-0 to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and then they lost 0-1 to at the stadium at their home ground. So there's some mentality thing. Not sure. Even though Chelsea haven't been in good form recently, they have won their matches against Spurs in this month alone. So this is the third match against Spurs this month.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so yeah, it's hard to tell. It's a London derby. It's hard to pick a winner here.
Yep. I do expect Spurs to learn from their defeat against Chelsea. Definitely, Conte wants to prove that he can rectify his team performance. So I think we need to be careful in this game. However, if let's say you still have Chelsea asset and not moving them yet, say you still have Alonso or Mount, would you consider to play them this game?
No, I just think there are better picks elsewhere from here, and also have to bear in mind that Chelsea will be missing some games because of the Club Cup. Yeah, and so there'll be some absence. So if you want to get rid, now's a good time, to get rid.
Okay, we have covered all matches. Okay,
Hmm.
we know there will be another game for Watford and Burnley. Okay, so we considered whatever the news that we have now. That is the thing that we should be consider. Okay, for this game week. So before we go to our team, should we take question or I just want to show you this thing first, I mean. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Is actually the top transfer in for this game week, which
Yes,
is
yes.
Coutinho with 598,000. De Bruyne, like you mentioned, also hot asset coming in. Then Bowen, Jota, and Bruno. Okay. So
Yeah,
what
so
what so what you make of this is the managers are correct to bring Coutinho in?
yeah. So again, the question is whether or not he'll start, right? And
Yep.
I'm honestly, I'm not confident that he'll start just yet. I think he will still come in for 30 minutes. Yeah, I think he's much better chance to start after the break. Um, but having said that, we saw that he can impact. Yeah, and he will be facing Everton, and as a former Liverpool player, he'll definitely get a lot of barracking, but he'll be out for a point to prove. So it's a good play,
Mhm.
and I think maybe people also expect Coutinho's price to rise, especially during
Yep.
this long break. So
Okay.
picking him up now would be a good move as well.
Okay. He's at 7 million. No one no surprise that people are starting to bring him in. But if they say he has some price rise, it's still considered bargain to me. Yeah.
So and then De Bruyne, yeah, because Manchester City are showing that they can really whack teams at the moment, and Southampton was shown that they can be whacked. They can lurch from winning one good match to really getting trashed in another. So I expect this to be another trashing by Manchester City. I'm surprised that people are bringing Bowen, but I guess the thing is he is in good form. So even against Manchester United next match, Manchester United's defense is bad, so I have him obviously, and but
Okay.
I'm surprised he's still high in the list because that people haven't already got him. So yeah, so bringing him is fine. Jota is another. uh, is interesting. I'm not sure how, because I thought a lot of people already had Jota, but maybe the two goal against Arsenal during the midweek
Okay.
will also got more
Play in
people
mind.
in.
Hmm.
Yeah, Fernandez back on the spotlight. Now he's become the flavor now again. So, but it'd be good to see if Fernandez can perform consistently with Ronaldo. And we saw in midweek there was one time where Fernandez could have shot, but instead choose to pass instead, even though he had the chance.
Hmm.
So with Ronaldo on the pitch again, so yeah, it's still something to watch. I think also
Okay.
I just want to point out that it's interesting to see these top transfers because they were obviously done before. Uh, a lot of these transfers were made before the announcement that there was
Yep.
a double game week for Watford and Burnley. Having said that, I don't think it would have changed much because who are you
Okay.
gonna bring extra from Burnley Watford that you don't have
Okay.
already? Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, man. Let's go to our team. Is it?
Questions. Let's do questions
All
first.
right. Okay, man.
Okay, I'll start with this one. Okay, this is from Sanki. Hi, Sanki. Nice. Thanks for joining us. So, whom to captain? Dennis or King or KDB? So, the thing with this one is that if you captain KDB and let's say he does he hauls, then it's good. But if he doesn't haul, then with King you end up having to, or Dennis or King, you have to end up really waiting for a long time to see what happens. Um, personally, personally, it's hard. I'm leaning towards a KDB single gamer, but it's a quite a risk. Yeah, but I the thing is the thing is, I haven't seen enough from Watford to see a lot of goals.
Okay. And
Sorry. There's one thing I forgot I wanted to mention earlier, but maybe I can mention it now. Let's bear in mind there's a large gap between the first match and the second match, and in
which is now.
between we are still in the January transfer window. So Burnley clearly need reinforcements. So there is a possibility that Burnley may get someone good to come in, and when the second match comes around, Burnley may actually be in a stronger position. By contrast, I'm not sure if Watford are bringing in anyone significant right now. I don't see it, especially in the attack. Maybe they'll uh, bring in a new centre back to shore up the defense, but I'm not sure what's going on with Watford's transfer. So Burnley clearly they need to get some strikers, more people in attack. So and with Maxwell Cornet will also be back from AFCON, so he may be ready to play for that match. So don't be surprised if Burnley pull off a win in the second match.
Fair, fair. So your thoughts, man, is Captain KDB, right?
Captain KDB.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
To be
leaning towards.
fair, to be fair, actually, if we think just by single game week, I think Man City asset is actually the obvious choice for this game week captain pick. Whether you're going with KDB, Sterling, or Foden, whoever, yeah, I think all has good potential to haul. Okay, but since we have this double game week news of Watford and Burnley, I think if let's say we have Watford asset is like um it's reasonable to captain someone who has two match.
Two
That what
matches.
I
Yeah,
think. Okay. And on paper, Watford against Norwich and Burnley, which is I think is favorable to Watford, even though
yeah.
Watford, like you mentioned, a bit underwhelming. But I still feel is logical to captain uh, players that have
A
two
double
games.
game week.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I won't
So,
I won't deter people to captain KDB and so on. I think it's tight on that call lah. Hmm.
yeah. So just stretch a bit by this question by Shafiq JPP in terms of suggest best captaincy. So yeah, so Dennis or King or KDB. Of course, if you don't have KDB, let's say, then if you would probably captain either Dennis or King. If you had both Dennis and King, I would, on statistics wise, I would still go for King, even though Dennis is better on the eye test. I just feel that if a penalty may ensure for the Burnley match, and King will be the one taking that. But another option, possibly for those who want to risk a double game week, single game week player is Rafinha. Leeds play Newcastle, and Newcastle are not showing any improvement in the defense. Although they brought in Trippier, but they need more. And Leeds are looking really good in terms of attack at the moment. So coming back to the Leeds of last season. So yeah, there is a possible option if you have him, because you probably won't bring him in now. But if you had him, why not?
Okay, good. So let's go to next question, which is Shapi asks Harrison or Rafinha.
Okay, so this is so obviously Harrison has scored 4 goals in the past 2 games with a hat trick, while Rafinha has been your more consistent season performer. Um, the FPL
Hmm.
rational decision will be to go to Rafinha on the base of his consistency. However, Harrison could really well be on a run at the moment because he just needed to get back into form, and now he seems like he's definitely motivated right now. So
Hmm.
I would lean towards Harrison actually.
Okay, fair. Being conservative like me, I still choose Rafinha
Yeah,
over Harrison. But I have some friends who actually a bit more aggressive, a bit want to be really differential. They can take Harrison. Just to share or mention to everyone, Harrison also has the potential. If let's say Leeds are not performing first half, he could be sub up. He has experience of being side out in the 45 minute, right, man? As first half
Yep.
play and second half sub out with someone else if he's not performing. So that is the risk that you need to take. People like Harrison, Rafinha is more crucial in terms of their playing, which is what Bielsa trust. And Rafinha also should be on penalty if Bamford not around, right, man? So he he,
Yes.
he he's the one lah to me.
Yeah. In terms, yeah, penalty taker wise, yeah, definitely. Unless Harrison is on 2 goals and then a penalty comes around, maybe he'll be argued for the third. But Rafinha does look good taking penalties, so he might end up ousting and become the first choice, even when Bamford comes back. So it's a good,
Okay.
it might be a smart move. Okay, so next one is on Foden by Stephen Curtis. Any thoughts on bringing in Foden as a differential, as everyone is talking about bringing KDB? Hafiz, you wanna take a stab at this one?
Can not every manager has money if you've been stuck with Ronaldo or spread your money. Like myself, I cannot have like having bringing in KDB in one move. I have at least to make a two move. And if let's say I don't have free transfer, I need to take a hit. I don't think is worth to bring in KDB with a hit if let's say you can bring in the player like Foden. So, but in terms of points and involvement, KDB has the more potential. We know he can do wonder goal, and then he has potential of assists and create chances, and he could potentially play false nine if they say Pep decided not to play Foden or Grealish. We need to consider that. I just have a look with KDB. He has started for the past 6 matches, 90 minutes. So that is another one that secure or make us feel safe to have
Yeah.
him. He's the captain for this team. If you have the money, yes. But I actually, if let's say, if you don't have the money, you can bring in Foden and still, I still feel it's still a good choice, man.
To be honest, yeah, I guess on my side, I'm a bit tired of Foden, being frustrated with him quite a while from last season and this season. So I'm happy to not have him. But yeah, I think he's still owned by less than 10%, only 7.8% Foden.
Okay,
So,
how much Foden are now owned by manager? I'm not too sure.
7.7%. Yeah. To be fair, KDB is only at 12.9 at the moment. So he's not that
Oh,
hugely
KDB
owned
is
either.
actually more. Okay, okay. KDB at 12% now, Sterling at 4%, and Foden at 7%. Okay.
Okay, so that's it. Stephen, yeah. If you have the funds, then yeah, KDB. But otherwise, what Foden should be, just nice as well.
I think I don't mind anything. I just want to take this question by Rakan FPL,
Oh,
which is
okay.
King or Dennis. Like you mentioned, you favor Dennis, King. I feel Dennis also is a good choice. I think it's just a throw of a dice. But King has penalty. Dennis has the potential to score goals better than King. That's what I think. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, man.
All right. Next question by Sanki. Do you fancy Tierney and Martinelli?
I will.
Yes,
Yep.
both.
I
Right.
will. I will play them both this week.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to bring in a double gamer, I think bringing in Martinelli is not a bad shout either, because he's cheap.
Yep.
Yeah, and he will, he should score against. He can score against Burnley. Yeah,
Yep.
Burnley.
Definitely.
Let's face it, they haven't played for a long time, so they're not gonna. You want the argument is that they well rested, but the other argument is that they're not really match fit and not really ready to play without enough warm up games, and so so I can at least for the first game, which is the Arsenal game, and yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
definitely, I would
Since
like that.
Sanker throw us this question in, okay, let us discuss whether if let's say we have a choice between Rafinha or Martinelli this week, what would you do?
Wow, that's a tough one.
Yes, yes.
Leeds are home against Newcastle. Arsenal are home against Burnley. So both are at home. I think Arsenal may be the on just on this matchup alone. I think Arsenal has the edge. Yeah, so I would go Martinelli.
Okay.
Wait. The thing is, they did play. They Arsenal did play midweek though. So
Okay.
and Arsenal are missing Partey. Okay, and they're missing Xhaka and who's that guy? Tomiyasu might not play as well. So I'm gonna say the Leeds player.
But we still expect Arsenal to roll over Burnley, and I
Yes.
expect Martinelli should involve.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it. The only thing, if you want to take into account, is Arsenal will blank in game week 25 and 27. So it's still really a short term only. But for Leeds, they will play for those in that
Wait,
period. So yeah,
Arsenal blanking in 25? I didn't know that.
yes, blanking in 25 and 27.
Because they were supposed to play Chelsea, is it?
I
Yeah,
think so.
it's the
Yep.
Chelsea. Yeah, it's the Chelsea game. That's right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why if let's say you pick Martinelli, you must be able to cope without him playing in 25th and 27.
Yeah. To be fair, he's still 5 plus, so he's not it's
Fair,
ideal to
fair.
be benched anyway.
Yep,
Um,
yep. Yeah, so if let's say we want to bring someone who straight away rewards us this week, is Martinelli a better asset than Rafinha?
I'd still go for Rafinha.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
Okay, all
I'd
right.
still go with Rafinha.
Okay,
Okay. So this is just a comment by Paddy who says he's captaining KDB over King. Yeah. So
okay, fair,
Paddy,
fair.
let's see. I'll find out later this evening whether I end up joining you. Okay. So moving on. So this is a question, but just got an update for Athletic. Ronaldo is a doubt against West Ham. Suffered a neck problem against Brantford.
Is it?
Okay. So this is news, and the problem with Manchester United is that Rangnick had a news conference the other day, and he seemed to have accidentally leaked that they may have a double game week in game week 25. So I'll let me dig up some news about that, but just something to highlight for Manchester United. I didn't know about this possible doubt, but I did
Okay.
find out about the possible Manchester United double. So let's move on, and I'll get back to that one later. Okay, great alternative.
Great
He,
alternative. 5.5 to 5.3 Martinelli.
what do you think? You had Gray before, right?
Yeah, I have Gray now, pun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, so if let's say you want to move on Gray, the same price bracket, Martinelli is an obvious choice.
Hmm. I'm I've cooled down on um I've cooled down on Everton at the
Martinelli.
moment. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. So, would you agree with me? Would you agree with me? Man, alternative
Um.
for Gray? Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Next, if there is any question. Yep.
Okay. Let me see. Any more questions?
Harish, who is
Okay.
the best
So
captain between Dennis? Okay. All right.
so here, I think Hafiz, you're saying Dennis, and I'm saying King, right?
Yes. It's split in on decision, but it's still a tight call. Both are still good option. I'm not
Okay. So
sure if let's say you think of double up. Say you have King or Danish, then you think, double game week, you bring someone else in. I'm not too sure on that double up of Watford player. Yeah.
this is by
If you have,
Harish.
yeah.
Last question by Harish. Rafinha or Coutinho?
Uyo.
These are all tough
Like
questions.
yes. Like I mentioned to Main, if you ask me, since Gerard has not given any conclusive answer whether Coutinho can start and you feel it's not really fit yet to play 90 minutes, then Rafinha is the answer.
Yeah, Rafinha is the answer. That's right. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely go for
Yeah.
Rafinha. Okay, shall we? Okay,
Yep.
so before we go to our teams, So this is from Rangnick's press conference.
Okay.
It's about how we can win the game against West Ham, then the cup against Middlesbrough, and then Burnley playing Southampton and Brighton at home. This is where my focus is. So they play Southampton at home in game week 25, but Brighton at home, where did that come from? Why did he say that? So this is in game week 25. So it's quite possible that Manchester United will have a double game week in game week 25.
Okay.
So
Right.
Southampton and Brighton at home. So this is really good. However, the news about Ronaldo possibly being injured does throw a bit of spanner in the works, annoying. Those who have Fernandez and not Ronaldo, they'll be happy. But those who have Ronaldo and don't have Fernandez, it becomes even more of a question for them. So this is the latest news. Rangnick accidentally saying that, possibly saying that they have a double game week for week 25, which is Southampton and Brighton at home, which is quite attractive. Okay, so just
Okay.
a heads up for you all.
All right. Good. Like who Sankar mentioned, there is a doubt for Ronaldo to play. We need to be ready for it and make sure we have bench if let's say this thing happen. It can happen to any player. Yep.
Yeah. All
So
right.
we go to your team, man.
All right. Let me just
Okay. You are
share.
not wildcarding, right? Because you mentioned in midweek that you want to wildcarding. It's not
Yeah.
your plan anymore, right?
So the heat has come off a bit. The annoyance and the whole thing I've is dissipated and I'm feeling better now. So okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Might take a while. Okay, so one big difference is that I have already made one transfer. I've gotten rid of Mount and I brought in KDB for my free transfer. So I've actually already made this transfer, and it wasn't so much to catch any price changes. It was more to confirm myself, to put myself in a decent position. Can you see my screen yet? Can you see my screen?
Not yet, man. Not yet.
Okay, technical issue. Let me see. Okay, let me try again.
All right. It looks
All right, should be coming.
yep.
All right,
Okay.
you can see my screen. Okay, so sorry,
Yep.
this is my transfer window. Let me just go to pick my team. So this is my team as it stands. So Foster, of course, Foster. Thank you, Foster, for coming back injured, safe. Although although to be fair, Foster versus Ramsdale is a bit tough, but because Arsenal could keep a clean sheet here, whereas Foster might not keep for. I'm just gonna go with the double game week plan and keep Foster.
Yeah, I think there is also a
So
question thrown by manager whether if we have De Gea or Ramsdale like your position and Foster who should be play. I feel yes, double game week player should be upfront to be played first. Although Ramsdale could have potentially have a bigger points this week.
yeah. So I don't like Rudiger there, but I don't really have much choice. So Rudiger, TAA, Cancelo, TAA Cancelo is fine. So as you can see, I brought in KDB now, and at the moment, King is my captain, vice captain, but I'm quite likely to change that to De Bruyne. Saka, fortunately, I'm happy that he was fit midweek,
Yep.
so he should come back for Burnley, which will be useful. Bernardo, who rounds off my Manchester City triple action. Of course, I had
Wow.
it before, so I'm okay with him. Bowen's there, of course. Don't drop a person in form. Trossard is there, and that's where the question mark is. Trossard and Firmino are the two transfers I got in last week. Although Firmino did get assists, I'm more comfortable with Firmino than Trossard, so we'll see what happens there. King is there, of course, and the biggest decision is to leave DCL on the bench. So on the basis of form, he is not quite there. On the basis of fixture, they are playing Villa, who are quite strong as well. So I need to see a bit more first from DCL. So I'm looking at making a hit, but I'm not sure which. Probably for Rudiger, maybe for Digne.
Okay.
So So alternatively, I could get rid of Trossard and bring in also an Aston Villa, maybe Ramsey, or even Coutinho. I do have the funds if I wanna risk it. So I'm not sure. But at the same time, I can't not ignore that Leeds tasty matchup against Newcastle, and Leeds are attacking form look great at the moment. So it's tough. So if I were to bring in a Leeds player, it will probably be for Harrison again as a differential.
Wow, wow, it's a big move. If you ask me, I think this is already good enough. I don't think you should take any hit, especially bring. I know you don't like Rudiger against Spurs, but you never know. Chelsea could actually keep a clean sheet against Spurs and Rudiger pop up a goal, or maybe not a goal, a clean sheet already good enough. I think
Yeah,
this is good enough, man. The
yeah. So yeah,
decision
because
is it's a hard one. Is on DCL, but I feel is the right move. Benching DCL.
okay. So the thing with any move I make from now will be a hit. So I need to consider if I bring Rudiger to Digne, will Digne do enough to cancel out the hit and bring more additional points? And the same with Trossard as well, whoever I bring in. So the thing is, if Trossard for Coutinho with a -4, I will probably rule it out simply because Coutinho is not, because of the limited minutes that Coutinho will play. So it's well, we still have a couple of hours to decide. So Brian's
Yep.
opinion, I'll bench Trossard for DCL. Yeah, I get where you're
Yeah.
coming from, but have you noticed Leicester's defense
Yep.
is quite out at the moment? So
Yep. And
yeah,
to be fair, Brighton performance is better than Everton right now. We are not sure which Everton going to turn up against Villa. They could still got thrown out or played out by Villa. So you never
okay.
know. Yep.
So just show another point of view. Harish said Rudiger to Wolves defense such as Cody. Yeah. So the thing with that is that although I wouldn't be surprised if Wolves keep a clean sheet, I feel in the end it'll net off to the same because if he doesn't score a goal, then he just gets 6 points. So 6 - 4 is still
Yep.
2. And the thing is
Yep.
with that Chelsea Spurs match is it's going to be a low scoring match as well. I don't see a lot of goals
Right.
there. So 1 point extra
Yep.
might not be enough to convince me. All right.
Okay. I think you have a decent team in.
Okay, so your opinion is that I shouldn't make any more changes. I should leave it, right?
I feel so. About captaining, I think is your call. I won't blame whether you change it to KDB. Maybe KDB actually will outperform King in the end.
All right. Well, let me just save my captaincy for KDB, and then we can move to your team, Hafiz.
All right. So this is my team. Same like Azmin. Play Foster over De Gea because he has two fixture.
Why does
Hopefully,
your
okay. This.
wait what your screen's a bit blur? I'm not sure if everyone sees it blurry.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing it fine. Okay.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just me.
Okay.
If you guys can't see it, let us.
Yeah. So Foster, I play Foster over De Gea. Okay, for those fixture, two fixture. Then TAA, Dalo and Cancelo. For now, Dalo has the place over Diop and the injured Livramento. Sun, I put there because I'm gonna make a move over Sun, which is between KDB and Sterling. I got the money, but I need to make another change. I got two free transfer this week. Bowen stays, Jota stay. Mount is another one I'm considered to take out. Sun and Mount. Okay, we come back to that. Antonio, Ronaldo, and King. Okay, King I put captain because he has two fixture. I might do KDB and Rafinha in. Okay, for Sun and Mount. But I also think whether I should take a hit to replace Dalo for Digne, like you mentioned. Okay, but I'm not too sure on that. But I know Digne and Aston Villa has a really good run after this. We know Aston Villa has two fixture outstanding that need to be played. They have
Yep.
no blank like Arsenal. So that's my thinking. Okay. So if let's say I bring KDB or Sterling in, I still think our captain King, man. Although
Okay.
it might not be the best decision, but just logically he plays 2 game, he could score against Norwich and Burnley. They has
Right.
potential.
So the one thing I wanted to highlight also, related to your dilemma, is that
Hmm.
even though I myself brought in KDB, but if you're bringing Manchester City assets, you need to be aware. If you remember last, those
Game.
who watched the midweek show, we know that Manchester City don't have any matches to reschedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Manchester City, West Ham, and Brentford, I think it was. Yeah, so you do run that risk of having players who may not play later, who will not have an extra match later. Having said that, if you still have all your chips, then this shouldn't be a problem. But it's just something that you need to take into mind. Uh,
Yes.
with regards to your moves, yeah, I agree mostly. So the the question now is that Dalot to Digne, and we show that Manchester United are still not solid at the back. They're still leaking goals. It's still up to the brilliance of David De Gea to
Yeah.
save the team,
Yep.
right? We've seen it so
Yep.
many times. That's how he keeps getting bonus points.
Okay.
So the quest. Let's say because I expect Manchester United to concede more than one goal
Yep.
against West Ham. So as a result, yeah, I would go for Digne because I think that Digne will at most concede one goal against Everton, and chances are he will have attacking returns. Let's not forget his motivation to play against his former club. So yeah, I would
Okay.
back the move. But see, that's the thing difference between you and me, Hafiz, because I think I'm more comfortable taking hits, whereas you more the relax, take your time kind of thing. But for me, I will back your move to go for Digne.
Okay, that will do. I think my priority should be my defense because I got TAA and Cancelo, but the third one I'm not too sure. Diop, Dalo, and Livramento. I'm still keen to keep Livramento, man. Although he's injured, the next 3 matches is still a bad one for Southampton, like Man City, Arsenal. I think Arsenal and Chelsea, is it? I'm not too sure. Then after that, Southampton match is, and maybe after that, Liverpool will be back and should be an option for us.
Mm.
That's why I'm not keen to replace Digne with Livramento. Although Diop could be another option for me, like you mentioned, West Ham doesn't
Yeah,
have any outstanding fixture, so it could be the one to move out lah. Manchester should have another double game week, so maybe I should keep him. With the hope that Wan Bisaka won't play over him.
yeah. So okay, I think that's it for your team, right?
Yep, I think that's it.
So there was just one question we missed, which was from Brian. Daka for Antonio. So while I like Daka and I actually had him in my initial um, wildcard draft when I was already planning to look at him, but at the end of the day, the problem is Daka. Leicester don't have a good run of fixtures after. They play Liverpool after the break, then West Ham, and there was another, yeah, and then Wolves at away. So I wouldn't go for Dhaka now.
I'm not too sure on Daka also, Brian. But if you suggest Watkins for Antonio, might be a different thing.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
so Watkins has potential uh, double game week. Okay, at the same time, Antonio does not have, and Aston Villa we have a good fixture. If I'm not mistaken, up to game week 30. So that is the move that I'll be thinking instead of Daka.
okay,
All right,
all
I think
right,
we cover everything, man.
yep,
So let me remind, okay, our game week 23 will be the deadline will be at 2:30 a.m. Okay, and then please do your transfer. We already know our double game week. We will have one game, Watford versus Burnley. Okay, so be vigilant on that news. I'm not sure whether we will have any more news of double game week. I don't think so. This is it. So just to share with everyone, do give us support if you like our video and content. Do give like and also subscribe to our FPI Jedi Show channel. That's all from me, man.
Yep, and that's all for me. Thank you very much, and all the best for Game Week 23. Remember, after this, it's quite a long break. Of course, you'll
Yup,
have that
yup.
Burnley Watford game in between, but otherwise, we'll take care, and I will probably do a maybe we'll do a season so far kind of thing before during the break. Yeah, but other than that, we'll see you for Game Week 24.
All right, take care and good luck for this week. Bye.
All the best. Bye. May the force be with you.